It is Wednesday afternoon. And that can only mean one thing.
It's Miller time!
Bring it! Yes, my friends. Every Wednesday afternoon, we make it our business to talk to Pima County Supervisor Allie Miller. Yesterday, there was no meeting. The Pima County Supervisors did not get together to figure out how to mismanage more of our money. I'm sorry, Allie. But still, that gave Allie a chance to do some more digging. So we're going to bring her. First of all, we welcome you to the studio, Allie Miller.
Thank you very much. It's nice to be down here. I just came back from Phoenix and made it through the Haboob.
The Habooby!
Yes, it was ripping and roaring all the way down.
I hope you didn't risk your life for our education and entertainment, Allie Miller.
I was risking my life for my education.
Okay, we know.
It
yes.
was worth it.
Well, I'm glad you made it back here.
Yep.
Allie Miller, something happened here recently. And I'm sorry, my mind is bleeding. I want to ask you before we got into more number crunching stuff here. What is going on with Rosemont? They haven't been on the radar lately.
You know. Rosemont is, Pima County filed their objection to the approval of the EIS, and as far as I know, the process is still moving forward. I don't know in terms of whether that has made it through the legal channels yet. So right now, Rosemont's kind of sitting there on the back burner. I mean, we don't want jobs in Pima County. You know, we just want to keep fighting jobs coming in here. And so as far as I know on Rosemont, there is a meeting coming up that I'm going to be going to, so I'll get an update then from Rod Pace, who usually gives an update. I'm
going to have to reach out to Rod Pace because I'm getting irritated. I was listening to other mine issues in other states, and there seems to be a coordinated effort among environmentalists to stop by hook or crook, by lawsuit, by whatever means necessary, borrowing from Malcolm X, anything they can do to keep mines from being open, to keep commerce from happening when it comes to mines, whether they be copper mine or whatever.
Yeah, mines or
coal.
It's the EPA and everybody's business. I was actually visiting a friend of mine yesterday who does plates and bowls and uses the firing material. Guess what? The EPA just banned it, so she had to find a new glazing material to use, and it isn't as good as the other stuff. So she's going through a nightmare trying to find a new glazing material to use because they banned the product that she's been using for years.
And the EPA also...
They're in everybody's business.
Yes, they changed the chemical composition of dishwasher liquid so it no longer cleans the way that it used to.
Is that what's wrong with my dishwasher?
Yes.
I was blaming my husband for stacking them in there too tightly.
Now you have to practically wash the damn things before you put them in there in order for them to get clean. You used to be able to put them in dirty, but then the detergent was strong enough to clean your dishes. Now you have to pretty much scrape them down before you put them in, and sometimes you still got to run them through twice. Thanks to the EPA.
I did not know that's what was going on, but I knew something was going on with my dishwasher. I told my husband, I said, I thought this was a good dishwasher. And then I was blaming him for stacking the dishes the wrong way.
Just went ahead and blamed the man. Blame the man right off the bat. Didn't even give it a second thought.
The poor guy is innocent the whole time.
He's
innocent. The EPA.
Yeah, it's the government that did that to you.
Why are they getting in our dishwashing liquid?
Well, why are they getting...
Light bulbs.
This is
Glaze.
Exactly. I forgot about the whole light bulb thing, with the whole squiggly spaghetti bulbs and all that, which costs more. And if you break it, you got to call hazmat out because there's mercury in it, right?
Right. Yes, you have to do a whole hazmat procedure.
Tesla. Anything on that? You ever heard anything about Tesla?
I have not heard anything on Tesla. As far as I know, I haven't heard anything in Phoenix or in Tucson.
I got educated on Tesla today.
Oh, did you?
Yes, I did.
Is it coming to Tucson?
No, you know what? The person that I was speaking to had his fingers crossed about it coming to Tucson, but I was not a big fan of the electric car or the hybrid. I was like advocating, why don't we make hydrogen cars, all this kind of stuff. This gentleman broke it down in such an effortless way after he explained the different technologies. Allie Miller, I'm almost a fan. I can't believe I'm saying this.
Of electric cars?
Of the electric car.
Wow.
because of the way Tesla is doing it. It was a fascinating conversation. I'm trying to find out a way to bring it to the circus, because this is the first time I've ever heard it explained in this way. And then I became even more concerned, should I say, or wanting the Tesla battery plant to come here with the 6,500 jobs.
Yeah, and it also has copper in those batteries, and it's like the copper mine is right here.
See, now this is okay.
Place.
See, here we go. I try to be hopeful. I try to be optimistic. And here you come and dash
copper.
it. You come here and you dash it, talking about the copper mine that refused to be open because of radical lefties who want to keep it closed. And why would those same radical lefties let a battery plant that deals with all kinds of environmental hazards, why would they let that come to Tucson?
Yeah, but yet they love to drive their electric cars. They really confuse me. I don't understand their logic at all.
That is what they call a paradox.
It is a paradox. Yes, it is.
A
there
paradox.
seems to be a lot of those.
Not in my backyard, which seems to be the mantra of this of our community as well.
Right. Yeah. They don't want the mine because it's down near Sonoyta and it's in whoever's backyard. And, copper is where copper is. And unfortunately, it's there in that mountain. It is a beautiful mountain, but they're going to do everything they can to mitigate. I've been down there 3 times.
I was about to say something very controversial, but okay, I'm going to just say this. I'm going to modify it a bit. When I first got down here, I discovered Sabino, which I love to hike even now once a week. And I met one of the rangers there, volunteer rangers, and we got into this very issue about the Rosemont mine and mines in general. And he said, I'm not against the mining, but I'm saying that it took God hundreds of thousands of years to make this thing. And once you go into it and tear it down, you can't put it back. So we just have to be sure of what we're doing here. And I think that Rosemont has made sure that the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. They've done everything that's asked of them and more.
Yeah,
but the bottom line here is that there are a group of people who do not want it opened.
No.
And it's not, and my contention is it doesn't have jack to do with the environment. It has to do with their ideology, which is anti-capitalism.
I believe that's probably a big part of it. Yes, I think there are people that just don't want Pima County to thrive. They don't want jobs. They want it to turn into this community where elderly and young people come and go to college, and we don't have any jobs. They come and they leave. That we educate them and then they leave. And there is that mentality here, which is insanity, in my opinion.
You have liberals that are trying to treat Tucson like Obamacare. Where you have the very old and very young.
Yeah, you're right.
And the middle class
because
gets
the middle
squeezed
class
out.
is going to go away.
Right.
Yeah, why are we going to stay here? Why are these people graduating from the U of A? They don't stay here, and they leave because there aren't any jobs. I just hear it over and over again, and it's killing our economy. I mean, the more we continue to fight these businesses coming in, and Rosemont Copper being one of them, they're going to destroy a 1 square mile, section of land. They will be the first ones to tell you, yeah, it's 1 square mile, but they're going to mitigate as they go, and it's going to be covered, and it's not going to be like the mines of the past with the old technology. But is it a mine? Yes, absolutely, it's a mine. Do we need copper? Yes, and all of these green people that want to live on green technology, want to use solar panels, want to live in, using the copper batteries in their cars, etc. They need to recognize that they need copper to function.
Copper. Yeah. And I also learned a lot about solar stuff today too, Allie Miller. I'm telling you,
don't tell me you're going solar.
You know what? I'm thinking about it. I tell you what, we'll save that for a different day.
Okay.
When we come back, I want to get back into the Pima Animal Care Facility because I see as I look over here at your area, you've done some homework.
Yes, I've done a lot more homework.
And we want to get into the numbers. And I think that we're going to be even more nauseated than we were last week, my friends. It is Miller time. We have Pima County Supervisor Allie Miller in studio. Coming up next, we jump into the boondoggle. Can I call it boondoggle? Nah, it's a
doggle of some sort.
Some kind of doggle. $22 million doggle. You listen to 104.1 The Truth. You are listening to 104.1 The Truth. It's 5:23. We are in the midst of a Miller Time conversation. We had a free-for-all the first segment. Just fired some things that was happening locally, and we had a little chit-chat about that and solar power. And well, actually, we had solar power conversation over the break. We'll do that a little bit more later. But I want to ask you, Allie Miller, because last week we talked about the Pima County or the Pima Animal Care Facility bond for $22 million. And I'd like to discuss more about this since we've had time. You've had time actually to digest the numbers, and I actually posted some of your articles. Brilliant, by the way, at 1041thetruth.com. This $400 per square foot seems extraordinarily high.
Yeah, it's $504 actually. When
what did
you
I
add
say?
in all the consulting fees.
$504 when you add it all in. Okay.
Yeah. It turned up to $504 a square foot. And yes, it just jumped out at me because I general contracted my home. So I knew that this was just an outrageous amount of money.
So did Pima County actually get cost estimates from other builders in town?
This is the problem. Pima County procurement process works backwards. I used to work in the aerospace industry, and what we would do if we wanted to build a product, we would get estimates, and or we would, someone would submit an RFP to us, and we would put in estimates, and so would a whole lot of other competitors, and then they would choose from various criteria that they would rank us on, and then they would choose the person that they wanted to build the product. Well, Pima County works backwards. They get the bond for $22 million, and then later on they'll go out and they'll ask everybody, "Hey, you want to bid on this animal care center? We've got $22 million in the bond that we've got." I mean, it's like holding the candy out, going, "We've got $22 million. Do your bid."
Right.
And it's backwards, in my opinion, that we should get at least 3 competitive bids. That's what was required in the federal government. We had to get at least 3 competitive bids, or we had to justify why we would use a single source or less than that. And then once we did that, then we would put out, that pick the person that could build it based on the criteria that we had. So putting out the built bond first and then asking for cost estimates later just seems backwards to me, and it reeks of an easy way for somebody to slip in a whole lot of consulting fees.
Well, this is what we saw last week when we were looking at the consultant fees. We were looking at the furniture costs. We're talking about millions of dollars here. We talked in the whopping inflation number as well.
Million.
Yeah, $4 million. You can see how this thing is padded with tons of pork.
Yep, lots of pigs at the trough.
Yes, indeed.
And I know they're animals, but they're not dogs and cats, and they should not be at the trough on feeding on Pima County taxpayers. And so when I saw these numbers, I am an animal lover, and I know you said you weren't, but I'm an animal lover. I gave my own personal money to Pima Animal Care because I believe in it so much, and I believe it needs to be repaired, but not at this price. And so just as an example, I brought in today for you Tucson's Muscular Dystrophy Association headquarters.
Yes.
They just sold that building for $9.1 million. Okay, less than half of what this $22 million animal care facility. It was 82,842 square feet.
Well, why don't they just use that for the animal shelter?
I know, and it was on Sunrise Drive. And the way it was described by the director of leasing, there's just no building like it in Tucson, he said. The location, the finishes, the interior, there's nothing close to this level of luxury in Tucson. And it was 82,842 square feet, and it sold for $9.1 million.
Well, now, how many dollars a square feet is that?
That comes up to $109.84 a square foot.
Wait a minute, $109.
Yeah.
And this for the Pima County Care Facility, they want $504 per square feet.
Yes. This just shows you how out of bed this estimate is. It jumped out at me last week, but when I saw this in the paper, it made it even worse.
Okay, sidebar question. Why did the MDA leave Pima County?
You know, that's a good question. I'm not sure why they left.
They left the luxury building, went back to Chicago?
This land was given to them, and I don't remember.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was.
Wait, the land that MDA built on, that luxury building right there, before they moved back to craptacular Chicago, was given to them by Pima County?
I believe it was Pima County that gave them the land. I'm not positive on that, but I know the land was gifted to them. And they built the MDA headquarters on that. It was a big deal when it came here. But yeah, all of a sudden, boom, they're just gone. And I'm not sure what the story is behind why they left, but that would be an interesting one to hear. But then they sell this for $109 a square foot.
Right.
There's our animal control
there
building.
It is right there.
It's twice the size.
And it's beautiful, too. And instead of spending all the money on the fancy furniture and stuff like that, they got a luxury building that they can house these poor dogs and cats, and it's beautiful facilities for the people to work in. I don't. Why don't we just? This solves problems, doesn't it?
That's what I thought. It is in a residential neighborhood, so it would never fly up there, but that would be an issue. But $109 a square foot in the high-end residential area of Pima County.
Well, they like dogs up there, and dogs and animals. They're all animal lovers and stuff like you.
They are.
They probably would songs put. You know what? They could take probably $1 million and soundproof the place.
Yeah.
And then boom, there you go.
Yeah. If they put soundproofing in, there you go. Perfect.
All right.
I don't think we'd have a problem. And then, I
want to go deeper in the numbers when we come back.
Okay.
Because you've unearthed some very interesting things. I think it's obvious that this dog kennel bid didn't come down in a competitive manner.
No,
okay.
It did not.
And so what I want to do is get more into some of the pork of this bill, because I think that this is indicative. This is a snapshot of how Pima County does its business. And it's problematic as we make a conscious effort to move forward. We can't do it when we have all of this waste going on. Or what was that word that you said that really upset the other Pima County supervisors? Mismanagement. You're listening to 104.1 The Truth. We're in the midst of a Miller time with Pima County Supervisor Allie Miller.
It's Miller time!
I think that I have upset Madame Lebas. Was this French? She's a Gabbylicious7 on Twitter, Allie.
Oh.
She says, James Sierras, I don't like you no more. Dogs and cats have feelings and deserve to be protected. But not at that price.
I agree.
Then why is she mad at me? I'm just what?
Yeah, they deserve to be protected, but they don't. The taxpayers don't deserve to get ripped off in the process.
Well, and you use the term ripped off. We earlier in the show, my friends Allie Miller shared an article about the MDA building on Sunrise Drive, his prime real estate area, just sold for $9 million. It was $109 per square foot. The budget, or I should say the bond for the Pima County Animal Care Facility, they want $504 per square foot, which is like almost 4 times the price of the beautiful MDA building.
Yeah, so I think that lady should rethink what she was, being mean to you.
Well, no, she said, she agreed in the end. She agreed. She agreed. She said, not at that price.
Okay, good.
I believe in the animals and all the animals, but not at that price. Whereas, even though I don't believe animals have feelings, I don't care if they do, we can be in agreement not for that price.
Yeah, absolutely. And I agree with her that we need to take care of them, but we need to figure out how to do this at about half the price, at least half the price.
So were these numbers ginned up?
These numbers came from the Pima Animal Care Center. It came through on Monday afternoon is when I got them.
Right.
So we got no time to look into them, ask questions about them. And then when I tried to ask questions in the meeting, I was cut off. And there was no detail provided, no backup materials for these numbers. So you get a consultant, $2.895 million. Okay, I'm just supposed to accept that?
Right.
Who's the consultant? And interestingly enough...
Did we ever find that out?
No, we didn't, but we will.
Okay.
When we finally get someone to build the thing, we'll find out who the consultant is. And I just pulled up some cost comparisons using this tool on the internet called Reed Cost Estimators. And I did a factory, a hospital, fire station, a high school. And the consultant fees on those for a hospital, a 3-story hospital, which is very complex. The price per square foot for 55,000 square feet was $319, which is really high because it's a hospital.
Right.
But the consultant fee was only 9%. In this case, on the Animal Control Center, the consultant fee is 13%. So it just shows you how out of whack this is. And then you look at the MDA building, and I'm sure we can pull up a whole lot of other examples of commercial buildings being bought and sold here in Pima County, which I intend to do. I'll continue collecting information so that I can give it to the voters so that they can be educated about what they are voting for.
Well, you sent me a big packet here, and I read through it, and there were a lot of new jobs that will be created to support the new facility. It said 700 volunteers. Is that true?
Well, this is the thing. In the meeting, one of the gentlemen got up and spoke, and they said they had 700 volunteers, plus they use prison labor.
700 prison labor?
Yes, they do. They use prison labor to clean the kennels and that kind of thing. It gets them out of the prison and gets them out there, doing some productive work, which I think is good. But what came out was, no, there's not really 700. We only have 60 or 70, and, on a good day, 10 to 20 will show up.
So they overestimated times 10?
Yeah, they said they had a lot. They have a list of 700 volunteers. Well, that list doesn't mean they show up. And I can tell you...
How many of the 700 or 70 are prisoners?
No, those
do the guards have to come along, too?
Yeah, they do have to.
They got to pay for that?
The guards, they're paid.
They can just stay in prison.
The guards do come along. And
why don't we just keep the guards guarding the prisoners in prison? That's why we built the prisons.
They get them out there to work and
some
productive work.
No.
It gets them out of their cell.
Put them in they're in their cell for a reason.
And they wash the animal cages for free. For free. They don't get paid for it.
It's not for free. We got to pay for the guards to make sure they don't run away.
Absolutely. Yes, we do.
But
we have to pay for the guards when they're out there in the prison too. So they bring a few of them out there to work on the animals
because they just love animals.
Because they love animals, and it gets them out of their.
And the animals will help them.
Gets them out of their cages.
Right. Oh, see. Yeah. Okay. I see the symbolism there.
Yeah.
Okay. I still think it's wrong, but okay, go ahead.
But they do that. But this number of 60 or 70, these are not prisoners. These are volunteers that supposedly are working on the Animal Care Center. And the date that we went out there and did volunteer, we probably saw 6 or 7 plus our group. And we walked all 200 dogs. So basically...
You walked?
200 dogs.
200 dogs.
Yeah, our whole group.
Oh, I guess that's why you need the volunteers, because you have to walk the dogs.
Yeah, because they're stuck in their cages, and it's nice to get them out. And they have a beautiful area out there to walk them around.
Well, who walks the cats?
The cats don't get walked.
Why?
I don't know.
Don't they need to be walked, cats?
They probably let them run around a little bit.
On their own?
I didn't go in the cat area. I was walking dogs.
Okay.
So
I don't understand. I never owned a cat. Never
want to go walk cats?
Hell no. No. Hell no. I'm not walking cats. I'm not walking dogs. No.
So we could get James out walking.
That's not going to happen. Okay.
So anyway, I started looking at the number of new jobs that they needed created as a result of this new facility, and they need a new animal vet, animal manager, and 7 animal techs. This is what they estimated. And a fund development coordinator, which they did not have a cost estimate in there for them. I took the average wage of what they estimated between, for the animal vet, it was between 46 to 58,000 a year. So I just averaged that. So using those numbers and averaging them, I come up to $323,000 per year added cost for animal control once this facility's built. And then in addition to that, we have a contract that I found in the backup material with a company called Pima Paws, and we're currently under contract with them for $198,000 per year. We take the animals over to their facility, and they are treated for kennel cough. And it's estimated that about 11,650 animals per year go over there at $17 per animal. So that we have a $198,000 contract. And the thing that bothers me about this went under the radar because anything under $250,000 doesn't come before the board, doesn't have to be approved by the board. But this contract can be renewed for up to 4 years, renewals without coming before the board. So you take all that together and you have a $520,000 worth of additional maintenance costs, fees just for this facility.
And that didn't end up on the spreadsheet because it's under the $200,000 threshold.
Right. And then these new jobs, I started researching those. That was written up in the background material, and then I started adding them up, and it comes up to about $500,000, and that will come out of our primary
Another
tax.
$500,000, so we're up to $1 million?
No, the total is $500,000.
Okay.
And then in addition to that, we've got to maintain the new facility, which I don't know what the cost for that will be yet. We have to, you have to paint, you have to, take care of the facility, make sure it's kept in good shape, air conditioners, heaters, all those kinds of things. So there's going to be additional costs as well as this $500,000 that we found for, the additional employees out there.
When you say we, this is you and your staff.
The Pima County taxpayers.
Oh, we, as in, okay.
Yeah, the
because
taxpayers.
here's what I want to point out to you, Allie Miller. I'm sitting here looking at you go through these numbers because you sit down here and you crunched these numbers and you ask questions and you logically approach what it's going to take to keep the thing going. My question to you, is there any other supervisor that does this type of work, that does this type of extracurricular activity to get down to the nub of how the money's being spent?
I have no idea. I know they certainly don't want to have a discussion about it because I've asked to have discussions. I would like to see study sessions where we would sit down and hash this out in front of the public and actually, have these discussions in front of the public so that we could get input and also, figure out together what these numbers should really be and where we should really be coming in at. $504 a square foot's insane. And they all know it. I mean, anyone could look at this and recognize
I'm just shaking my head because I just think, Tucson, Pima County has a jewel in you. I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm watching, I'm seeing what you're doing here. You guys didn't meet yesterday. You're still here working on behalf of the taxpayer, trying to bring some transparency to this $22 million bond issue. And when you break it down and you share the numbers with the public, how can you be anything but appalled that this was even suggested in the first place? And what I find even more appalling, Allie Miller, is I don't see the other supervisors taking the time to do the research to expose the shenanigans that are going on. Probably, this is me talking, because they're going along with it. That's just me. But I appreciate the fact that you are breaking this down, because when you do, you see that there is absolutely no way on God's green earth that the good people of Pima County should be voting for this craptacular $22 million boondoggle.
I agree. And that's why I did vote to give them that opportunity. But I also, it's their right to vote. But I also will be firmly against this, because we should not be getting, fleeced at the tune of $504 a square foot for a animal care facility.
What you got coming up, Allie Miller?
We have on April 11th, 2014, it's a Friday, from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Gospel Rescue Mission at 338 West 28th Street. We're going to be helping them out from 9 to 11 a.m., folding clothes and hanging clothes and just spending a couple hours down there working. And we do this every quarter. It's called Helping Hands. It's a project that we do every quarter in my district. And
I like that. That's helping people, not like dogs and cats and
well, we like helping the dogs
bighorn
and cats.
sheep and all that kind of stuff.
Well, we might go up and help those bighorn sheep too, and those mountain lions.
Yeah, the Gospel Rescue Mission. Once again, when and where?
It's April 11th, 2014, 9 to 11 a.m., and it's at 338 West 28th Street. Please come down and help us out. We could use a lot of help down there.
We love you, Ellie Miller.
Thank you so much. It's great being here.
We'll see you next week.